Good afternoon and welcome to my hobby table once again. I've got something very special on the table here for you today. Now, as I said in my engine sell-off video, I'm no longer really going to be spending money on purchasing engines. So a lot of the support or continued videos for this channel are going to have to come from the engines I have, which 99% of them have already been seen or run or viewed before, or by the generous loaning or borrowing of viewers and subscribers, such as the man that just sent these to me. These boxes were in a bigger box. This is from Chris in Tennessee, and this is an engine that I've wanted to own and at least, if nothing else, feature for many years on my channel. So it looks like he's probably got the engine and muffler in separate boxes. So let's open these up and let me show you what I've got going on here. These is probably the exhaust. Yep, that's the exhaust. I don't know if anybody recognized that exhaust. I'm sure with the title of the video probably gave this away anyway. This is a very unique exhaust, and we'll go over it a little bit more here. And I'll put the link to the one, I think there's only one review article on this engine. I'll put a link to that in the description. This is the Fitzpatrick 61, made in the USA. And after reading about it on that review article that I just mentioned, these guys had a tough time getting this engine made to their exacting standards, and apparently it was never really heavily mass produced. Now this particular engine that Chris sent me is his number 2. He's got a number 1 engine that is like the museum piece. He says this one's the used one, but to me this one looks like a damn museum piece also. And here it is. Stash that out of the way. Let's zoom in a bit here. Oops, wrong way. So we can take a look at this beautiful engine. It might be a little bit too much for my lighting here. This is the Fitzpatrick 61 engine. And I'm trying to look at it with my eyes, but also make sure I look up at my camera and keep it in the screen. So as long as I keep it in this area, I'll be good. But damn, this is, you know, the first thing that comes to mind when I see this engine is that I need a paper towel, and I don't have one. The first thing that comes, let me pause this for a second, go get a paper towel. Okay, I'm back. A lot of after-run oil on this thing coming out. The first thing that comes to my mind when I saw this engine, the engine casing, is a laser engine, because it's very boxy looking. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in here. It says FSR ABC Schnurley USA deep down inside there. The lighting is just so odd here. Now, years past when I was in Florida, I had my light was right here. Was directly above and shining down. Here I've got these two LED lights that are here and here, shining down at an angle, so I don't get direct light down in here anymore. But so anyway, like I was saying, this thing just to me immediately reminds me of a laser engine. Just because of the way it's manufactured and just the look of it. It doesn't have that OS look at all. Now, so here is this thing. So the first thing that I thought of when I read this article was this is very unusual because of the fact that this carburetor is not removable. It's a cast part of this front housing. And you can see here, hopefully, that there's no way to get that thing off there, obviously, because it's a cast part. But it's just this blockiness of this thing. And after having seen one of these, quite honestly, I'm kind of glad that I never actually bought one. I mean, it's a very beautiful engine, but for the money that I was always seeing these things going for, wow, I don't know. I just don't know about that. There's a lot of quality craftsman machine work done on this engine, but it's just very blocky looking. So if this is Chris's lesser quality one, I can only imagine what the other one looks like, because this one's pretty damn nice, and it's so tight I can't get that thing to turn over by hand at all. But the head is interesting because it doesn't have all the deep fins in it, you know, going full length on the head as you would see on most engines. The blockiness is everything that just screams to me it looks like a Laser, the way Laser created their engines, and those are hell of a good four-stroke engine. Now the funny thing with this exhaust is it's got a very unique mounting methodology also, in that these screws and nuts come out and they go through the head like this. So this is gonna, and it looks to me like it's a semi-tuned pipe also. So this is gonna be fun as hell to run. I can't wait. Now the funny thing is, or not funny, the interesting thing is Chris said he authorized me to actually do a look inside of this engine. And I'm considering doing that. But this is one of those engines where I just don't want to hose it up at all. And I'm looking here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I'm looking here at these rear cover screws, and it looks like they're tweaked a little bit. It just looks, especially that one here. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. It just looks like it's tweaked. Let me see. Now, since this is an American-made engine, I think all I've got here right now is SA or metric fasteners. So I don't even know that I've got wrenches here at the table that will engage in this. I've got it set out in the garage. Yeah. So this is all SAE. So I couldn't do a look inside right now anyway if I wanted to, just because of the fact that my SAE set is out in the garage and it's not in here, because 99% of the engines I take apart are metric engines. So anyway, these screws look like they're tweaked a little bit, so that could be a little bit of a concern. Let's see if the front housing. I really do want to do a look inside of this engine, and when I do it, it'll be on a separate video. But all of these screw heads look like they've kind of got tweaked a little bit. Now, Chris said don't worry about it if the gaskets get destroyed when I take this apart. Now, what I would probably do is, well, it'd be the front housing off, the rear cover off, and the head off. That's it. I wouldn't take bearings out and go through all that length. But there is some interesting things about this connecting rod in this engine that if you read that article, you'll see. But this is just such a pleasure to actually hold one of these things and be able to have the opportunity to run it. This thing just feels like a precision. Man, it feels like clockwork. It's just so precise and just beautiful. So anyway, that is our quick look video, and a big shout out, thank you to Chris from Tennessee for letting me borrow his beautiful Fitzpatrick engine. Now, as it stands today, I'll probably do a look inside here on another video. As it stands today, it's raining outside, so I won't be getting this outside here today, but look for run videos of this in the very near future.